The Castle Rock Lake area has a lot of great lake homes, including 10 subdivisions with lakes within a short walking distance of the big water. So how do you know which lake is right for you? In this video, we're breaking down the Castle Rock Lake area, including the 10 subdivision lakes, showing you where they are, what they have to offer, and which lake might be the perfect fit for you. The Castle Rock Lake area has a lot of great lake homes to offer, including 10 subdivisions with lakes within a short walking distance of the big water. So how do you know which subdivision or lake is right for you? In this video, we're breaking down the Castle Rock Lake area, including the subdivision lakes, showing you where they are, what they have to offer, and which lake might be the perfect fit for you. The Castle Rock Lake area is one of the most underdeveloped yet fastest growing lake areas in Wisconsin. So if you're looking for a second home, a spot to retire, or even a vacation rental to invest in, the Castle Rock Lake area has it all. On this channel, we talk about what it's like to eat, sleep, live, and play in central Wisconsin. So if that's the type of information you're looking for, be sure to tap that subscribe button down below. My name is Brandon Lumen. My wife Sally and I have lived in central Wisconsin for over 30 years, and we'd love to connect with you. So send me a text, give me a call, send me an email, or even better yet, let's set up a Zoom call, and Sally and I will answer any questions you may have. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of the video, I wanted to take a couple of minutes to share some general facts about the Castle Rock Lake area. Castle Rock Lake is a flowage created from the Wisconsin River that covers about 14,000 acres. It has a maximum depth of about 35 feet. The typical depth of the lake is somewhere between 8 and 20 feet. It also has 60 to 70 miles of shorelines, and the lake itself includes 10 separate boat landings for you to be able to use. Now, something that's unique about the Castle Rock Lake area are the fact that you do have the big water, but you also have several subdivisions around the lake itself, many of which include smaller, family-friendly lakes that you can take advantage of. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, having that smaller lake that you can use with your family, but being able to get out on the big lake and enjoy some of the things that that type of lake would have to offer. At this point, we're going to jump to the map so I can start showing you where some of the subdivisions are, what they have to offer, and things you can take advantage of.
All right, everyone, welcome to the map portion of the video. Before we get going, I just wanted to let you know that we are going to focus on the western side of Castle Rock Lake, which is also the Juneau County side. On another video, we'll get to the Adams County or the eastern side of Castle Rock Lake. So we're going to jump right in, and we're going to start on the southern part of the lake, talking about subdivisions that you have that are available. The first one we're going to talk about is called Castle Rock Gardens. It was probably created in the 70s or 80s. One of the nice features you're going to know is they have dug a canal into the subdivision itself, which gives all of the homeowners access to the canal to be able to get out on the lake. And it is probably one of our more affordable subdivisions on the lake itself. If we do a quick zoom, you're going to see that most, if not all, of the properties on the subdivision actually do have access to the canal. And being that Castle Rock Lake is the fourth largest lake in Wisconsin, it can have some pretty heavy wind storms, which this canal is going to give a lot of protection to boat lifts and probably boat lifts and boats that are in the canal itself. So nice feature of Castle Rock Gardens. So we'll zoom out. We're going to hop just to the north, and we're going to pop in here on Odell's Bay. So Odell's Bay sits right here. We'll zoom in just a bit on it. A couple of things I want you to know about Odell's Bay and this community. It is an HOA. You'll notice that there are interior homes that are going to have properties that back right up to the ponds that you see here. All of the ponds that I'm going to talk about from this point forward are, for the most part, spring-fed, sandy bottoms, nice sandy beaches all the way around. None of them are going to allow motorized boats on them, but great for kayaking, paddle boarding, just floating and hanging out with your family. And the nice thing about many of these smaller lakes or ponds is that it gives you the opportunity to enjoy that little bit safer space, a little bit quieter space with you and your family, but still have the ability to be able to get out on the big lake. The other thing that you need to know about Odell's Bay is you do have a lot of properties that are right on the water, but you need to know that when Castle Rock Lake was made, The Wisconsin Power Company actually purchased or owns the first 100 feet around much of the lake. So even though you have a property that has access to the water, you don't own all the way down to the water. So you aren't able to put out your own pier. There are community piers that there's probably 3 or 4 of them in the O'Dell's Bay area. So if you're out on the boat and you need to get back home to use the restroom or grab some snacks, you'll be able to pull the boat up, hop off, go grab what you need, and then get back on the boat. However, that doesn't mean you can't get on the lake. So right up down in this area, there's going to be what is called a cluster pier, and cluster piers are very common on Castle Rock Lake since people don't own all the way to the water in most areas. So there'll probably be a pier with maybe 30 or 40, maybe 50 boat slips, and the people who are part of O'Dell's Bay can use those boat slips to be able to get on the water quickly and easily. The other thing you need to know is many of these common shoreline areas are going to have walking paths on them. So just be aware that if you do own on the water side or the Castle Rock side of O'Dell's Bay, you may have people walking through what appears to be your backyard, but they're actually on a path owned by the Wisconsin Power Company, and they can travel from Pine Cove all the way up to the Dirty Turtle. And so you will have people taking advantage of that. This HOA, along with the others I'm going to talk about, come with clubhouses. This one has a pool inside the clubhouse. It's got tennis courts and pickleball courts on the outside. So if we travel just up 17th Avenue is going to be the next HOA that we will talk about, or next area we're going to talk about. And this is Half Moon Bay. I'll zoom out just a bit so that you can see. Now, I will tell you that I don't believe there's any walking path in the shoreline common space around Half Moon Bay. I could be wrong on that. So I don't think homeowners have to worry about people walking along the water. Again, I might be wrong. So if I am and you know that, please leave that in the comments down below so other people know as well. Interior homes have access to the pond, and all the same things that I mentioned with Half Moon or with O'Dell's Bay are true here. No motorized boats. You can float and take advantage. This HOA does have a cluster pier right over in this area, nice and protected, which is very, a nice feature. And all the people who live in Half Moon Bay have the ability to put their boats on a cluster pier if they choose to do that. One main difference with the clubhouse here in Half Moon Bay is that the pool is an outside pool as opposed to an interior pool, but it also does have tennis courts and pickleball courts. Now, most of the rest of not all, but most of the rest of the subdivisions we'll talk about don't have properties right on Castle Rock Lake, but you can still get a boat on Castle Rock Lake. I'll talk about some cluster piers that you can put your boat on if you choose to do that a bit later. So we'll zoom in just a touch here just so you can see. All the properties are all the properties that are on Stonegate Lake, which is the one we're looking at this point, have access to the water. So there's no 100-foot of common shoreline space here. You own right to the water, and all of the things that I've mentioned about using the water are the same as the previous 2 subdivisions. One unique difference with this subdivision and all the subdivisions I'll talk about from this point forward is they do not allow deciduous trees or bushes. So anything that loses its leaves is not allowed to be planted, but you can plant evergreen bushes and trees. And that, when you originally hear that, it doesn't sound like a great situation. However, one thing that it does do is it keeps the water pristine. The beaches are always clean. You don't have to worry about mucky bottoms in the lakes that you'll be seeing here. They are all very, very well kept. Stonegate Lake community has a clubhouse as well that sits right in this corner. We'll zoom in and see it in just a minute. It's about a 7,000 square foot clubhouse, has a pool, has a kiddie pool area, has a workout facility, tennis courts, pickleball courts. Stonegate does share that clubhouse with a couple of other small lakes as well. Now, Google is a little bit behind the times here. Our developer in this area has been developing faster than Google can keep up. So this is the clubhouse right in this area. But there's a small lake. I'm going to guess that it's maybe 5 to 7 acres or so. And you can see some of the properties that are here. There is a lake, you'll just have to trust me. And I'm sure that there are probably a few lots available there to be able to build if that's something you're looking into. Beach Lake, again, Google doesn't have it here. Beach Lake is, I'm gonna guess, in the neighborhood of, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 acres or so. Could be a little bit less. And at this point, there are homes built all the way around it. Now, the one thing that's unique about Beach Lake is it is one, if not the only, lake in the area that allows short-term rentals. So if that's something you're looking for, some type of an investment property, this would be the lake that you would be able to do that. And again, these two do share the clubhouse with Stonegate. Now, jumping to the north of, and I'll zoom out so you can see it a little bit better. Jumping to the north of the Little Yellow River, we have what is called Copper Point. And Copper Point area has several lakes in it, and all of the lakes that we're going to talk about share one clubhouse that sits right about here. It's a little bit bigger. It's a 10,000 square foot clubhouse. The one difference between it and the Stonegate clubhouse is that it does have a half-court basketball court in it. So it also has the pool and the kiddie pool and the workout facility and the pickleball courts and the tennis courts, but it does add that. If we zoom in, you're going to see some of the properties, and we'll get back down here to the Little Yellow. So you should know that if you do end up owning property along Castle Rock Lake itself, there is the 100-foot of shoreline common space on this side of the Little Yellow as well. And there is a walking path along here, but I was on it 2 summers ago, and it is a very wooded area, so you may not even notice people walking down that path, so it might not be as much of a disturbance as it would be in the Odell's Bay area. And again, anyone owning in the interior, their property is right to the Copper Point Lake or right to the Hideaway Lake. No 100-foot of common shoreline space there. You own right down to the water and can take advantage of it. Same thing is true. You have Island Lake in this area, and I will tell you that as we travel north on the map, each subdivision is newer and newer built homes in those areas. So I'm going to guess there isn't a lot of great information available on the size or depth of most of the lakes that are built here. But I'm going to say maybe 30 to 40 acres for Copper Point, and probably similar for Castaway Lake and Clearwater Lake. And as we zoom in, again, I don't know how accurate Google is. It does look like, for the most part, it's got the number of homes that are built around. So it's hard to say if there's lots available. There may be on either one of those lakes. We'll travel a little bit further north, and I might zoom back out so you can see this. So if we travel a little bit further north, there are 2 more lakes. So there's Island Lake South and Island Lake North. You can't see them on the maps. You'll have to trust me that they are there. If I flip to the satellite view, you're going to be able to see Island Lake South. So this is what that lake looks like. Again, it's a little bit, it's one of our newer developments. As we zoom in, you're going to notice that there are quite a few lots available. I think at this point, many of those lots have been have houses built on them, but I'm sure that there are probably some still available. Unique feature that both Island Lake North and South have are these cul-de-sacs, which allow people to have homes all the way around. I'm going to zoom back out because I think that this is kind of a cool feature as well. So you can't see it on the map, but there's actually a channel that runs from Island Lake North south, and it goes under 32nd Street. So you can jump in your kayak and you can actually paddle from Island Lake South to Island Lake North and be able to take advantage of both lakes. And again, you can't see Island Lake North, but you can tell that it has the cul-de-sacs. It's got a couple of different cul-de-sac areas, and then you have water all around the inside. And I'm going to guess that each of those lakes is probably in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 acres, but it gives you a lot of area to be able to use. And if we zoom back out, you kind of take a look at how far they are from Castle Rock Lake. So they're right in the neighborhood, very easy to be able to get on the water. And speaking of that, I want to talk about a couple of probably the simplest ways to be able to get on the water. So if you're someone who has a boat or you're interested in being on the big water, if you are unable to get your boat on a slip, one of the cluster piers, which I'll talk about those in a minute too, there are a couple of really nice boat launches that you can use. There are some other smaller boat launches I won't talk about, but I'll show you my top 2 public boat launches on the Juneau County side. So the first one, went a little bit too far south, is right here on the Buckhorn G. So, you have Castaway Lake right over here and one of the smaller lakes along the side. So it's not very far away from the subdivisions. There's 2 lanes to be able to drop your boat in. And I will tell you, if you're here during the week, these boat launches are wide open. You don't have to worry about anyone being in your way or getting in anyone else's way if you're not great at backing up. It also has 2 parking lots. So if it gets full, and it will on the weekends, lots of parking available in that area. The only thing I would tell you is that you do have to be a little bit careful as you come out onto the lake, because it can get shallow in certain spots. But if you get to the middle and are able to follow the channel, depth finder is always a great idea. All right, now between the Buckhorn G, which is right up here, and the next one I'm going to show you, there are other smaller boat landings that you can use. A couple of them you do have to pay for. The Dirty Turtle, Pine Cove both have some. But as toward the southern end of the lake, you have the Juneau County Park. Only thing about Juneau County Park is you do have to pay for it. I guess the Buckhorn you probably do too. I think you have to have a county pass, so it might, either one, horse apiece, I guess. But you've got a nice boat launch. The water is very deep in this area, lots of places to park. And again, if you're there during the week, you will have no problem getting your boat out. On the weekends, you may wait, and if you're not great at backing up, you'll have people watching you for sure. So I think the next most important thing for most of you is to know about some of the opportunities for a slip to be able to get a boat lift out on the water and get your boat on that lift. So Portofino Bay does have some, and last year I believe they had quite a few that were still open, which is unusual because most of the time people struggle to find a place to put their boat. So that's an opportunity for you. Sandstone Estates has boat lifts or slips for you to be able to put your boat lift. I shouldn't skip Wells Cottages has them in here, and they're very nice and protected, which is a great spot. Shipwreck Bay has opportunities for boat slips, and so does the Dirty Turtle. So those are the spots on the castle or on the Juneau County side where you're going to be able to get your boat on the water easily and consistently throughout the summer. A couple other things. I'll show you a couple of area golf courses that are kind of top notch, and just a couple that are real close by. Castle Rock has a very nice golf course. If you go to Toma, Hiawatha is very nice. I have not had the chance to play Mounds View, but it does have it's 4.6, so it's got a great rating. Northern Bay is kind of a unique one because it has 7 signature holes that are based off of some of the top PGA holes in the I believe they're all United States, although I could be wrong. So Northern Bay is a golf course I haven't played, but hopefully this summer I will get to. And if you're willing to travel a little bit further and it's not too far out of the way, Wisconsin Dells has a load of golf courses you can go to, and some really great ones. Again, I won't take time to talk about all of them, but you can check them out. Probably the most prestigious in our area is Trapper's Turn. Andy North had a hand in creating that golf course, and I'm not even sure how many holes that golf course has, but it's very well kept, beautiful place to be able to go golf. And there are other golf courses that are very nice in the Dells area as well. Reedsburg Country Club is another great golf course. If you're a UTV or ATVer, hop on Scribble Maps, go to Juneau County. It'll show you all the UTV and ATV trails or roads that are open in our county. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of off-road opportunities, but if you head to Black River Falls, which is 45 minutes to an hour to our north, it's one of the largest trail systems in the state of Wisconsin. Here in Juneau County, most of our roads are going to be open, which is nice. So you can see along Castle Rock Lake, where we've been talking, most of the roads are available. Give you one little area where you can't take your UTV, ATV. You'll notice you can take them through the subdivisions, which is really nice. But if you're on the southern side of the Little Yellow River and you want to be able to get to, maybe you have some friends that are on Castaway or Clearwater or Copper Point, you want to be able to go visit them, you can get there, but it is a little bit of a trick because you cannot drive down Highway 58. And so you end up having to cross 58 on 37th Avenue And there, I think if I zoomed in, you'd probably see more, but there will be some roads you can cut across. Maybe it is 9th Avenue, and you have to come all the way back to be able to get to the northern side of the Little Yellow, and then you're able to get to some other opportunities there as well. So that's important information to know. As far as the lake itself, because Castle Rock Lake was created off the Wisconsin River, I will tell you that as long as you stay in the channel, you're going to be just fine. So stay out in the middle, you'll be good. But as you get closer to the edges, depending on where you're at, this isn't everywhere, but depending on where you're at, you may run into some very shallow water. I know last year, I was heading over to the Adams side. We were going to park the boat and hop off, and before I knew it, we were in very shallow water, had to lift the motor, and you just have to be aware. Depth finder is a must. People love to go up the Wisconsin River. There are all kinds of opportunities. The train trestle is right here. As you get past that, there are sandbars you can pull your boat off. People hang out, throw the football, start up the grill and have a great time up in this area. But you have to follow the buoys if you head up this area, because the water gets very shallow as you do. So those are some of the biggest tips that I would give you. If you're looking for a place to have a bite to eat or have a drink on the Juneau County side, you have 3 really great options. Not very far from, I won't even bring the name up, but what I will tell you is Shipwreck Bay is probably the best overall food on the Juneau County side of the lake. Has a great atmosphere, has a canopy, but open area for you to be able to enjoy. Have live music occasionally, nice volleyball area. If you're looking for the best burger in, maybe even the state of Wisconsin, in my opinion, Pine Cove is the place to go. The other thing about Pine Cove is if you need to get gas and you're on the lake with your boat, you can stop at Pine Cove and you can grab some gas. And then if you are looking for some entertainment, the Dirty Turtle has a beautiful pavilion that they've just built on the outside. All 3 of these that I've mentioned have live entertainment on the weekends. The Dirty Turtle, I will tell you, from what I have heard, has really upgraded their food, so probably be worth checking them out this summer and come and enjoy the live music, because they do get some really great bands that come out and play, and people love to get out and enjoy that. So that's my insider information. There's probably a lot, I know there's a lot more that I could share with you. That might be for another video.
So again, my name is Brandon Lumen. My wife Sally and I would love to connect with you. So send me a text, give me a call, send me an email, or even better yet, let's set up a Zoom call and Sally and I will answer any questions you may have.